Well, hello, everyone. I was trying to do this as a live video on Facebook. However, it was acting funky. Probably Facebook now want me to be great, but that's okay. That's fine. I can be great some other kind of way. I'm smarter than the average bear. I could work this thing out. So I decided to record it, and then I'll load it that way. But as we're still talking about domestic violence, this month is October, is Domestic Violence Awareness, and trying to bring awareness to domestic violence, because a lot of times what we do is we remain silent to it or have a blind eye to it, and we don't pay attention to it. That's not my business, so we try to stay out of it because it's someone else's business. They are in that situation, and we're just going to just stay out of the situation, and that's not always the best thing to do. But tonight, I wanted to share just another thing that some people may not be aware of, that it could be a sign of that you are in a violent or unhealthy relationship. In relationships, sometimes it's hard to distinguish between, because when it comes to physical violence, that's easy to identify and define because it's physical violence. But when you are in the midst of a relationship that's not physical, but there's other types of things that they do, those things are also considered as violent, part of domestic violence. I mentioned in the first video that there's lots of ways, not just physical, that it can be considered as abuse. And domestic violence is anyone that's trying to gain control or to make you subject to them, and you are in an intimate relationship with them. That's why it's called domestic violence. Anything else is just violence, but it's domestic because it's a relationship involved. So that's why it's domestic. Now, I don't have any degrees on this situation, but I am someone that has encountered a portion of this type of violence, and so therefore it's from a perspective of knowledge, firsthand knowledge, as well as being able to talk to other people as well. So in regards to the different types of violence you have your physical, of course, then you have emotional, you have sexual, you could have psychological, you can also have financial. I don't know if I said that already, but you have all those different types of emotional, mental, verbal, all of those things are considered as abuse. And sometimes what may seem or appear to be unhealthy for one couple may not be the same thing that's for another couple. But there's certain things that I wanted to bring to attention tonight is did you know that can be considered as a warning sign for domestic violence? So did you know that this could be the sign of domestic violence? Did you know that if the person that you're in the relationship with is constantly threatening to leave you or to break up with you, or they're constantly wanting to put you out, or they are constantly wanting to leave, that is a sign of domestic violence? That whatever happens, that they get upset or they get angry, they threaten you, or even they may even take up and leave. That's a sign of abuse, because what they're doing is they are mentally and emotionally abusing your emotions. And so they have you on this roller coaster, and they know that you love them. So what they do is they play to that emotion. And what happens is typically the person that is the victim of the abuse, they are the ones that plead and beg for the relationship, and the abuser is utilizing that because they're manipulating your emotions. So someone that is talking about leaving you all the time, that could be a sign. Did you know that a person that is constantly accusing you of false accusations could be a sign of domestic violence? So someone that's always accusing you of cheating on them, always accusing you of possibly flirting with somebody, or accusing you of entertaining other people, or accusing you of things that are not true, that's a sign of domestic violence. So Oh, did you know that your intimate partner stalking or being on your Facebook, your social media, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, whatever type of social media there is, and always trying to see who you're talking to, trying to see who you're interacting with, trying to control that, that's a sign of domestic violence. Did you know that using names, name calling you out of your name, belittling you, even when they say, oh, I was just joking, behind every joke, there's some truth, right? So when they're sitting up there and they're belittling you and they're belittling you and they're calling you out of your name and they find all sorts of way to make you decrease, that's a sign of domestic violence. So I just wanted to share some of those signs because there's so many others out there. But I wanted to share some of those signs. The main one that I really wanted to trigger on is that person that's always threatening to walk away and always grabbing their keys and running, or always threatening to put you out, or always threatening you in some form to end the relationship. That's all a manipulation in order to control your emotions and control your mindset to cause you to apologize. Oh, one more before I end this. Did you know that a person that never takes accountability of their wrong actions, but always finds a way of turning the situation and turning the tables and making the situation be about you, or turning the situation and make you wrong about something, did you know that that could be a sign of domestic violence? So as we are constantly pulling and trying to bring awareness to domestic violence, don't stay silent to domestic violence. Do not stay silent to that, but speak out against it. Speak up for yourself. Call somebody. Find someone that could possibly help you in regards to how you can get out if you are a victim of it. But be also able to notice and recognize the signs of domestic violence. I am going to share this video I will load the video, and in the video, well, I can give you one. There is here in the Kansas City, Missouri area on Monday, October the 8th, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., there is a forum for domestic violence awareness, and it's titled You Deserve More, because you do. You really do. It's on 1522 Home Street, the Art Tech in Kansas City, Missouri, 64108. If you go to the Eventbrite, they have tickets there that you can get, and that's this month, and that's this Monday coming up. Also in Kansas City, Missouri, there's a domestic violence shelter that is here in Kansas City locally. It's the Rosebrooks shelter. They have all month long some things that they are doing. If you go to the Rosebrooks website, they have all sorts of things that they are doing this month to bring more awareness to domestic violence. We don't want the senseless killings in domestic violence. We don't want that to happen any longer. And we definitely don't want children to constantly be left with these being victims of one parent gone and the other, both parents gone, because one is possibly deceased and the other is now incarcerated. We don't want those things to happen. And so we don't want to leave our children as victims as well. So we want to make sure that we are trying to bring as much awareness to domestic violence as we possibly can. It's not always physical. There's also these other things that your intimate partner uses to try to manipulate and control you. And so you need to be very mindful of those particular signs. And so if you know someone that is in that type of relationship, speak out for them. Let them know that there is help for them if they choose to get help, but they definitely will want to get help. And then if it's you, go ahead and get out of that thing. Call somebody, talk to somebody. Somebody is willing to help you out. Go to the National Domestic Violence webpage. There's a hotline on there that you can call somebody and reach out to somebody in that aspect as well that will be able to help you to get out of this. Men and women both are victims of domestic violence. It's not just one gender. Women, of course, are the greatest population, but men are also victims as well. And so just keep in mind of some of those signs of domestic violence. Did you know? So let's not be silent to domestic violence any longer. Thank you all so much for viewing. Share it if it actually helped you or you think it will help someone else. God bless you.